All right. Let's see if this is actually working. Looks like it's working. Shine. Okay, today's Daf Beis Amud Beis. We're going to do a short synopsis of the Gemara, and then we'll move in to understanding. I don't know where my marker just went. Oh, it's right over here. Then we will move to understanding the Tosfos, and today we'll learn about the Rashi, how he defines Karen as Kavanas Lahazik. Okay, go for it. Start Chaya. Tanu Rabbana, no? Alright. What does it say? Outside.
Oh, outside?
Yeah.
So there's three Avos, which is Karen, Shein, Regel, goring, eating, and walking.
Those are the three Avos of Shiur. Within Shiur, there are three different things.
Yeah, there's
okay.
12 days.
Yeah. Okay, and on that, what do we say?
On that,
we're going to focus on today. What are we going to focus on? This whole Amud. Karen. We're specifically focusing on Karen. So these two are going to be put in parentheses over here. For the rest of the class, we're just going to be talking about Karen. Yeah, Karen Minolan. Where do we know Karen from? What are the two psukim, Rafi?
There's a pasuk from Sidkia where he made...
Okay, I guess not yet. Yeah?
What?
We have Tzidkia. No, it's fine. Tzidkia. I asked him to say the psukim, but you're already saying them. You'll have to deal with all my jokes for the rest of the year. So, and the sarcasm as well.
We have Gary Carter for some other question.
So Tzidkia was talking about what?
Talking about detached horn.
Yeah, iron horns. Obviously, they're detached, and that's an important. How do you spell detached?
A-C.
It's T-T, no? Detached.
No, it's no T.
No? Only one T?
Yeah.
Okay. Shine. Can't read it anyways. Yeah. Tzidkia's detached horns. And then what's the second one? Yosef HaTzadik. Yosef in his bracha, B'cher Sheiri Haderloi, which is talking about attached horns. Right?
Yeah.
Attached horns of an animal. Okay. Yeah, no, what does the Gemara say next? The goal is 6 minutes and 30 seconds today. Yeah?
The fact that the shard then comes with this detached horn.
Okay, what's the next step of the Gemara? We said two psukim. So now what's the next step of the Gemara? The Gemara says, why do we need to have two psukim? That's the question of the Gemara. Why do you need two psukim? Yeah? So what does the Gemara answer? What's the first answer? The Havamin of the Gemara. We don't hold to this answer. What would you say? What do we try to answer? Try to answer. You need two psukim because you're allowed to look inside. Yeah? My v'omer v'chitema. Ma'udetema, sorry.
We don't learn from...
Yeah, correct. That's Kabbalah. What is Kabbalah? Chachamim? I don't think so. Who knows? What? Nevi'im Ksuvim, Nevi'im Ksuvim. You can't learn halacha from Nevi'im Ksuvim. So therefore we need a second pasuk. What's the pasuk? The pasuk is from Torah. We need Yosef in order to actually learn anything out because Yosef was in Torah, so you can't learn that from Kabbalah. That's why you need two pasukim. Okay, what question should everyone have right away?
Why can't you just use the first?
Why don't we just have Yosef? What, right? The Gemara doesn't answer this, yeah? No, I think...
you can't learn Kabbalah from Torah. That's what it says.
No, but I'm asking, why don't we just have Yosef? The Gemara asks, why do you need a second pasuk of Yosef? Because you can't learn from the first pasuk. So why don't you just write the second pasuk and don't write the first pasuk? Yeah? No one thought about this when they learned the Gemara, right? You guys all read through the Gemara. It made a lot of sense, but we forgot about the first pasuk.
The first one's talking about damage, horns damaging. Well, the second one is...
But we already said you can't learn halacha from the pasuk anyways.
Right, just bringing the context of horns that damage.
Bring the context of horns that damage. Okay, so therefore wanted to say it because that's actually discussing damaging something. I'll take that answer. It wasn't the answer I was going to say, but that's a good answer. Yeah. Okay. So this one is necessary. We're going to write this in the name of Moshe Banun. Moshe Banun has an answer. The answer is this pasuk is actually discussing. Is it two L's or one L?
Can you make it look like
Actually discussing. Discussing damaging something, hurting something. So that's why I chose to bring that pasuk anyways, even though it's not necessary at all at this point. Okay, another answer is because if we just had Yosef and we didn't have Tzidkiah, we would think by Yosef you have tam and muad, meaning the first time you do it, it's still weird. Second time the animal does it, it's still weird. Third time the animal does it, now you're supposed to know that it's going to do it, right? It becomes normal. Why does it become normal? Because to start with, it was kind of normal. An animal has horns. That animal goes and uses its horns, which is not so normal to go around goring things with its horns, but it's a little bit normal. So then after a while, it becomes a muad. However, an animal to walk over to a table, grab a shofar, and gore someone is so abnormal, so crazy, that it's never going to become normal. Yeah?
What if it just likes to?
So it's always moving.
Well, that's not normal.
So it's just not normal.
And it's so crazy that you're going to say it'll always remain a tongue, no matter what. So meaning, the reason why we need to bring tzidkia is to tell you that even this case of a detached horn is part of the halachis of Keren. It will not remain a tum, it'll become muad as well. It becomes muad as well. It doesn't remain tum. Yeah? Now, I could say a little bit of a deeper way to look at this idea, which is we are actually defining what is normal and what is not. Or what is Keren and what is not, right? Meaning there are 3 levels within normalcy, okay? Eating is the most normal. You're always chayav. You're always chayav to pay nezek shalim. Yeah? So shein, regel, those type of things are so normal that you always need to expect the animal to do it. Baruch, you with us? Then there's something that is a shtick or normal. I mean, you could see 2 bulls getting into a fight. It's not so normal, they shouldn't do it, but it could happen. So then there's tam and there's muad. Then there would be a 3rd level. The 3rd level is the level of detached horns. That's the most abnormal. And what we're saying is that no, that's also considered a slightly normal, a little bit normal, and therefore it will not remain a tam. It's also part of being a little bit normal. Okay? So it's redefining what is considered normal and saying that even detached horns are also a shtickle normal. Fine. Anyways, so let's continue the Gemara. So now we got the answer. The answer is that you need both psukim because of Kabbalah. And then we say that's not a good answer. Why is that not a good answer? Why is that not a good answer, Ephraim? Famous line, which is going to be the quote of the day today. Yesterday was obvious and told us today is going to be Giloy milsa ba'alma. What's Giloy milsa ba'alma? What's Giloy milsa ba'alma? No, translate it. Giloy.
Revealed.
Milsa.
I don't know.
Something ba'alma. It's just revealing something. Yeah, you didn't learn any halacha. We didn't learn a halacha from tzidkia. We just revealed something that already existed. So it's a Giloy milsa ba'alma, and therefore you're able to lose Kabbalah. So, in other words, the Gemara is asking. Oh, you should probably write this down, by the way, because this is going to be on the test. Huh?
You wrote it down already.
You're not actually, what?
You wrote it down already.
Yeah? Oh,
Are we
okay.
learning Karen from it?
Again, we're not learning anything new. You just didn't know what Karen meant. Now let's told you what Karen is. Okay? It didn't tell you a halacha. It just told you what something is. If you don't know what a Rube Goldberg is, and I explain you what it is, I didn't invent anything. I didn't tell you a halacha. You didn't know something, and I gave you information that you were missing. Similarly over here, you were just missing information. It wasn't that I told you a halacha, and therefore you're able to learn that from even Kabbalah, from the V'im. So if so, we're back to the same question. Why do we need to have 2 psukim? And what's the Gemara's answer, Shmuley? Do you go by Shmuel or Shmuley?
Shmuel.
Shmuley. Yeah, what's the Gemara's answer?
Because then I would have thought that maybe we're going to Talmud Lord. I would detach and attach one.
Okay, yeah, this is the detached and attached thing. Get what?
Maybe that's only regarding the one with the detached horn.
Uh-huh.
Would be the Talmud Lord, but one with the attached horn.
Would be considered
Talmud.
normal and always muad. Again, we need to have 2 psukim to say even if it's attached, even if it's mechuberes, read in the Hebrew, mechuberes also has tam and muad. Okay, shoin. Yeah. Now we're up to the second half of the Gemara. What's the second half of the Gemara? Going through all the toldes of Keren. Yeah, so we have Keren over here. What are the toldes of Keren?
The totals of Karen are Pushing,
Yeah.
bending, squatting, and kicking.
Negifa, neshicha. What's the next one that lists there?
Revitza
Revitza first,
and
okay.
Uvita.
Be'ita is kicking. Okay, yeah, then we're going to go and say each one of these shouldn't be part of it, yeah? So first we're actually going to speak about Negifa. And what are we going to say? And Negifa is really what?
It's really just goring.
Is goring.
Pushing is goring.
So pushing is goring? No. Pushing is with your body. That's not the question of the Gemara. What's the question of the Gemara?
That pushing is actually...
The word Negifa, it's a wordy question. The word Negifa is really Negicha.
Okay, fine.
It's the same thing. It's also using your horn. How do we know it's using your horn? Yeah. Pasuk, the Torah uses the word Negifa, ki yigaif, for Karen. Okay? Negifa is also used for Karen. Not just Negicha with a ches, but also Negifa with a pei is used for Karen. And what's the answer? Yeah, this is a very interesting thing which people got involved in. Rafi, you remember the answer?
It's saying that about an animal and a person.
Yeah.
That if trying to teach you that if since it ends with Negifa and starts with Negifa, it's telling you that if the ox kills a person and becomes a Amud for killing a person,
Yeah.
times that is also a Amud by animal.
Muad la adam have a muad la behema.
But
Yeah.
for an animal does not mean that it's a Amud for a person. So
Right. But not the other way around. And which word? And Negifa is the word used by behema. Karen is the word. Negicha is the word used by Adam. Now, what's the difference between Negifa and Negicha practically? If anyone could think. If they're both goring, what's the difference? Why do we have two words in the Torah?
Negifa is animal on animal, and Negifa is animal on person. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yeah, but what's the difference in the way that you gore someone? If you were goring an animal versus goring a person, yeah.
Well, you said that if it's whether like it's a calculated or more powerful attack.
Mm-hmm.
So that Negicha.
Yeah, I read the art school, Baruch Hashem, very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Negicha,
Don't worry, I also read it, it's fine.
Yeah, that Negicha is where
Yeah.
it has more, they're both intentional, but one is more of an intention.
Mm-hmm.
That is like calculating and ready to attack.
I don't remember the word for this, but there's chas v'shalom when they punish people for murdering someone. So there's someone that he tried to murder him, right? So he got mad and he killed the guy. He punched him in the face and he killed him. Then there is someone that he went out, he bought a gun, he hid for 3 days, and he killed the person.
Yeah, first degree.
There's premeditated. No, they're both first degree. He both tried to murder. They both specifically tried. They're both first degree, but one is premeditated and one is not premeditated. One is just he got upset, so he killed him on purpose. Okay, they're both on purpose. Meaning over here, to kill an animal, it's just negifa. You could push your horns into the animal. The animal's there, and they got upset at each other. So one animal pushed its horns into the other animal, negifa. That's why it's going to be also a tolda of negifa with the body. This is just using the keren. This is just using its horns. Negicha is that it premeditated. It went running up from far away, charging at the person to actually kill the person. You shook it. It's okay. Don't worry. It's all part of the fun. Fine. So that's the difference between them. That's why negicha is going to be by a person, because you need to have in order to get a person, you need to do it. And we explained that the idea of mazel. What are the two explanations of mazel, Baruch?
For the person that he's looking out for himself.
Okay. You try to guard yourself. And number two.
And also, animals are kind of stupid.
Right. That's the first one. What's the second one? Yeah. Lukuti Rashi spells it out better. And it's the second explanation. If you look further into later Rashi, it says Lishna Charino, Isle Mazal. So it says Isle Mazal. If you look at Lukuti Rashi on the right hand side, first Lukuti Rashi, Malach Shaloi Meilitz Olav. Every person has a malach that cares about you and will protect you. So therefore it's harder to hurt a person. Okay? Fine. Shine. Now we're almost done over here. Yeah? We got distracted today while we were doing the run through, so it's taking longer, but it's fine. It's part. You mean you took part of my shiur, by the way, already, so it's good. It worked out. So now, okay. Yeah, we did this move, a lot of move. Hema. Okay, no, Neshicha. Neshicha told it the Shane. Yeah, go for it, Ephraim. So what do we say? Well, how do you know that Neshicha is part of Karen? What's the problem? What should it be part of? Neshicha told it the Shane. Someone could show him. What's the first word on the line? First word on the line is La'adam. About 3/4 down the page.
Shiva told her Shane.
What's the question? Yeah, tell me the question outside. What's the question?
How is the Shiva told her for Shane?
No, that's not the question. The Shicha should be a Tolda of Shane instead of a Tolda of Karen. Why? Because it's using your mouth. The Shicha should be involved in the Shane. So what's the Gemara's answer? What's the difference?
Eli Shane. Yeshana.
Yeah.
Oh, Shane. This Shane is for Hana. This one isn't.
Right. Here you're not trying to have Hana. You're just trying to hurt the person. And therefore, it's different. So I'm going to actually say it differently. It's a double thing. Shane is for Hana. The Shicha is for Kavanasi Lahazik. You're trying to hurt the person. Yeah? So they're kind of opposites of each other. You could learn it like that. So Shane is Hana. The Shicha is Kavanasi Lahazik. You're intending to hurt him. Okay. Yeah, what's the next problem? Shmuly?
Question about regarding Revitza and Be'ita seemingly should be Regel and not Karen. And we just say that Regel is even more common and Bava others is not.
Okay, that's a very simple way to translate it. What does it mean that it's common versus not common?
It's Regel's walking is an essential thing that they do.
It's normal. That's the key word. Regel is a normal thing to do. Shane is mishuna. I'm sorry, not Shane. Revitza and Be'ita is something that's weird. That's not normal. Okay? So these things are not normal.
So Karen is essentially on purpose damage.
Correct. So in other words,
Not necessarily actually Karen.
yeah. So is that takes you to V'chi Kamar Papa? Oh, so no. So if so, concludes the Gemara in this case. When you look at all the toldes of Karen, yeah, what do you see, Maishi? You see that they're all have the same halachas, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What's the words that we use for that? Kayetze bohen. Yeah, tolda say and kayetze bohen. They're all the same. So if so, we're trying to figure out still what tolda is not going to be like its av. Okay, and this is the Gemara. This is the Amud. Yeah. Okay. So, but there's one thing that comes out from this whole piece, which is kavanasi lahazik, that everything is intentional, trying to hurt. And it seems that this is the main reason behind Karen. Meaning, to define what is Karen is to say Karen is kavanasi lahazik. That is what makes something Karen. Okay? Not that it's... So now, there could be two things that would make something Karen seemingly. Number one, you intend to do it. And number two, it's mishuna, it's weird. Okay? How could something be weird and not be intentional? I'll give you an example. A person eating blood, yeah, or in the case given in the Gemara in Daf Tesvav Amud Beis is a dog eating big cats, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? So a dog could eat small cats, that's normal, but a dog to eat big cats is not normal. Now, is it trying to hurt anyone? No, it's trying to eat. It's hungry. But it's still not normal. So we say a dog eating cats, big cats, is part of Karen. Why? Because it's not normal. But it's not intentional. It's not kavanasi lahazik. So you have this weird situation, in other words, that you could have something that is not trying to hurt anyone, but is still not normal. So frekta chashayla, what makes something Karen? Is Karen that it's kavanasi lahazik, or is Karen that it's weird, that's not normal? Or is it both? Or is it neither? And there's something else that makes something Karen. Yeah? Anyone have thoughts about this? You understand the question? You understand what I was asking? Again, until now, if you would look at this Gemara, you would say, Karen kavanasi lahazik. The definition of Karen is you intend to hurt the person, the thing. Okay? You're intentionally trying to destroy. Well, I just brought you a case, that's Karen, that there's no intention there to hurt anything. You just want, the dog is hungry. It's still part of Karen. You still pay half damage. Yeah? So I'm going to give you a Yisod from the Rush, and based off this, I'm going to ask you guys to answer the question, okay? So Chaim, listen to this Yisod, and then I'm sure you'll be able to figure out the answer. Yeah, you'll be able to figure out the answer from this. Okay? What's the Yisod? That you have, we use the common denominator in Hebrew, Hatzad HaShava Shebohen, to learn out many different cases that are considered part of Nizikin that you'll be chayav for, right? So Hatzad HaShava Shebohen, Shadarkan Lahazik, right? And therefore, you have to pay. So now, the rule is, let's say you have this case, yeah. So no. Let's say like this. You guys ever heard Shiur v'lei adam chamer v'lei kelim? That if something falls into a pit, you're not always chayav for everything that falls into a pit. You're only chayav for a shiur that falls into a pit, not a person. If a person falls into a pit, you don't need to pay for him because he should walk where he's going. Chamer v'lei kelim, you only chayav for the donkey, but you're not chayav for any objects that are on top of that the donkey is carrying. You're only chayav to pay for the donkey itself. Yeah? Okay, so that's a leniency that exists by bur. Now let's say a leniency that exists by regel. Regel is pater b'reshus harabim. If you left your bag of wheat in reshus harabim, and an animal comes along and eats it, the animal is pater. The owner doesn't need to pay. You shouldn't have left it there. An animal is allowed to walk around in reshus harabim, and you should have made sure not to leave your things there. When is he chayav? Only if he goes into your backyard or your field and takes your stuff, because the owner should not let it go into there. Yeah? Okay. Yafi, you're looking very serious. I'm not sure if you understood or not.
You said regel, and you said eating.
Oh, sorry. Let's say it walks and it breaks something. They're the same idea. It's only in Rishus Harabim. Okay? Both of them are only Rishus Harabim. Okay, thank you. So, in other words, a lot of the different damagings, Nizikin, have a certain halacha that they're lenient in. So if I were to learn out something from Hatzad HaShava Shebohen, from a common denominator, I need to be the most lenient, right? That's seemingly what should happen. Meaning, if I learn out from regel, which is pater and reshus harabim, and I learn out from bur, which is pater for people and pater for kelim, then that means I should be, now this new thing we learned, should be pater from people, pater from kelim, and pater and reshus harabim. That's not what happens. So there's a case later on in the Gemara of Avnei Sakina Masoy, a stone that falls off a roof and it hurts someone trips and it lands in Rishus Harabim and someone trips over it, that you're chayav. And we say it has all the same halachas as bur. So just like a bur, you're going to be chayav, you're going to be chayav for this. Whether that's lenient or strict, you're chayav the same as bur. Frekta chashayla, you're not able to learn it out from bur itself. You have to bring in a different case to help us learn it. So why do we only make it be exactly like bar? We should make it be as lenient as whatever you learned it out from. Yeah? So the Rush has to solve that problem. And the Rush solves it by saying that you're right. It is a tzad hashava. You're learning it out from the common denominator. But once you learn it out through the tzad hashava, you then go back and you see, what is this the most similar to? What is a stone sitting in Rishus Harabim the most similar to? And the answer is, it's most similar to bur. Yes, it's not exactly like bur, and that's why you needed a different case to learn it out, but the most like case is bur. So therefore we're going to learn it out from bur. Yeah? So how would you apply that to answer whether what we're doing over here about the dog? Huh? So even though the definition of Karen is kavanasi lahazik, that is what makes something Karen, and a dog eating is not trying to hurt anyone. But once you learn out that a dog that eats big cats is chayav for Karen, is chayav because of the tzad hashava, then you look back and you say, oh, what is it most similar to? What is this case most similar to? It's most similar to Karen. So in other words, the definition of Karen is kavanasi lahazik. This other case, which caused us some problems, it's not considered Karen because of Kavanas Lahazik. it's considered Karen because the most like case you would be able to find of the 4 Avos in our Mishnah is Karen, and that's why we're going to make it be part of the category of Karen. Okay? So if anyone asks you what makes something Karen, the answer is Kavanase Lahazi. Now this is all one way to explain the Gemara. If you follow the Rush, if you do not follow the Rush, there are other ways to explain the Gemara as well. But we're not gonna. This is the way we're doing right now, today. Okay. So then, so now let's do the Tosfos. Yeah. What do you guys get through in the Tosfos? You guys were doing yesterday's Tosfos, and I'm sure some people had to talk and share some words of inspiration after they've been here a whole day, 24 hours. Or how long have we been here now? 48 hours yet? No, not even. No. Wow. Yeah? What would you get through? Tilvim Taimar of where? Of the first Tosfos. So you didn't start Tosfos yet? Yeah? You did the first 2 Tosfos? Oh, good. Yeah, I understand. I saw people were learning. I'm not upset. Yesterday also we packed in a lot yesterday. Kind of like shock everyone. Let's go back in yeshiva. And then, okay, now let's try to figure this out. No, there's also extra day tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to give a shiur, Mirz Hashem, I'll the Hilchasa of the Gemara. I'll choose one halacha to look at it, how it applies practically. That's if I have time and brain space to do it. But we'll see. Be'ezus Hashem it'll have. And then there'll be Chazar the other time. Maybe I'll give it to everyone at the same time the second hour. We'll see how I do. Okay, so let's go through the Tosfos. Yeah? Okay, start reading. At least you'll get the part that you learned. Yeah, go for it.
The Ilu of the Kami of the so could be Kami a person and kill him.
Right.
Garcina, this is how we learn it. V'loi Garcina, Adam Uvgadim. And we don't learn it like that after the Kami Adam and a person and God.
Yeah.
So what is that most time the Kami Adam and Kami together? That this specific Lashon will imply that the Av could be Matami the person and his clothes.
So that means
not that Matami is the person and the person touches clothes.
right. In other words, if you're wearing clothes, yeah, and you touch a dead body, your clothes become tamei as well. But if a person touches you, so then you're not going to make the person's clothes tamei still, if I'm not mistaken, unless you're still touching the dead body, right? Unless you're mechuber to the dead body.
But if a person touches your clothes?
So let me look at this. I wrote down some notes about this. Tumas begadim is only if it is sechiber, yeah. So in other words, I think I'm touching a dead body over here, and then I touch you. So then I'll be matami your clothes. But if I'm not touching the dead body anymore, then I'm just going to be matami you, and your clothes are not going to be matami because you're a rishon already. I'm the av, you're the rishon. The clothes don't become a shame. So that's why we didn't want to write begadim, because then we would think it's step 1, 2, 3. Now that we wrote kalim, we know it's not step 1, 2, 3. It's step 1 and step 2 of a person, or step 1 and step 2 of kalim. Okay? Yeah, didn't tell you my effect is Shaila. You go read a little bit more. Yeah. So let's translate that. Mm-hmm. Kli mateches is a metal kli.
It makes a metal kli like it.
Yeah.
Like the same tomato?
The same level of tuma. Yeah.
Okay. The who is that metal.
The sword.
The sword is like emptiness.
Is like the challah, like the dead body itself. That means, if the sword used to kill the guy is tamei just like the person, meaning he's just as tamei. He's an avatom, not a rishon.
The sword?
The sword, yeah.
Okay.
Now, yeah. So therefore, what's going to happen?
We see that there are things that are like it.
Meaning, even by tumah, I could find you a case that's kayetze b'hen, not just a case where lav kayet. We said all cases by tumah are lav kayetze b'hen. Well, I have a situation which is metal kalim that killed someone. That guy That kli is going to be the same as the thing that made it tummy as the dead body.
But it's a tolda, or is it?
It is, yeah, it came from that.
But it becomes a knowledge, isn't it?
Right. So that's the problem. The problem is we now have a case that the halachas stay the same. They don't change. So again, we said every case of tumah changes. Well, now I have a case where it doesn't change.
Okay.
So what's the answer? The answer is no, it's not true. It does actually change a little bit.
Okay. Kibbutz.
Via Shloimer, go for Rafi.
Yes, summary to answer the Kati in Isa Kreisavai, that it's actually not similar to it still.
Yeah.
Basically, Matakas, basically Matakas Achar, because that metal cleave cannot make another metal cleave come in.
To be like it.
Yeah, basically, to be like it.
Yeah.
So since that metal cleave no longer make another metal cleave like that,
Yeah.
therefore that's not like it.
It's not actually really like it because the next step is not going to be like it. So even though you might have the same halachas as this, as the dead body, okay, but that's not going to continue. So then that means that you yourself doesn't have the same halachas. Okay, so it really is a little bit different. Okay, so we have kalim, not begadim. That was step one, to tell you that it's not mitame the begadim, rather it's either adam or kalim. There's only 2 steps here, not 3. That's the first part of Tosfos. Second step of Tosfos was a question. The question of Tosfos was what? We have a case that's kayetze by. What's the case that's kayetze by regarding what? Cherev harihu kechalo. What's cherev harihu kechalo? A sword is considered like a dead body. That the sword takes on the same halachas as the dead body. Cherev kechalo. Yeah. What was the Gemara's answer, Shmuley? What was Tosfos' answer? Sorry. Right. The next step is not the same, which actually tells you that the original step is not the same either. Okay. Fine. So this is the first Tosfos. Next Tosfos. Yeah, let's go. So you two read Baruch. Go for it. Is it okay if I call you Baruch? Because Baruch Aryeh is long. Or I should call you Baruch Aryeh. Okay, so I'll do Baruch Aryeh. Baruch Aryeh, next Tosfos. It's a short Tosfos. You can read the whole thing first.
The Brisa is saying that.
What's hifsik?
Separating it.
We interrupt. The Brisa is with this Brisa.
The Toldesein are not like it. Like the
Toldesein, the lab kayetze bohem, the kamer Rav Papa.
that's what Rav Papa is saying.
So those we're trying to figure out which the toldes which are not similar to the of ahoya. Which of was that the toldes are not the same? So therefore we bring a brisa and we try to figure out which toldes are not going to be the same as the of. And the first thing we focus on is shur. And the first part of shur is Karen. Yeah, next time let's go for the fry.
Which one?
Well, avu. It's a long one. Don't worry. I won't have you read the whole thing. Okay, actually, before we start, we need some explanation for over here. Yeah, you guys already learned it. You said, right? What? You didn't learn this one. Oh, okay, fine. Yeah, so let's look at this. There's a machlekes of the Gemara. This is like a famous machlekes, but we didn't learn it yet, so we'll have to define it. You have your nice bull named Bobby the bull. Okay, you own Bobby the bull. Bobby the bull. You need to watch Bobby the bull because Bobby the bull is going to run around and try to gore people, right? That's what you think. Yeah. Everyone agrees?
Yep. Well, I mean, it's not normal for it to do that.
Oh, it's not normal. So if it's not normal, then do you need to guard it?
Well, in case you don't want to pay a lot of money.
But then
I mean,
you
you
should.
should be watching it. It's your cow.
Why should I watch it? It could just roam in my field. I don't need a fence. Like it's not going to go around goring things. Goring is not normal, right? You understand the question?
Yeah,
So in other words, there are two sides to the case. Do you hold that a shur is bechezkas shimur kaima? Do you say that it's considered guarded, and it's not normal that it went out and did something wrong? Or do we say that to start with, lav bechezkas shimur kaima?
Are you gonna answer the critical thinking after?
Oh, I'm sorry. I can do that right now. Yeah, let's do that right now before we get into this. Okay, yeah. So let's look through each one of these little Rashis. And yeah, you guys might have gotten it right. I don't know. Okay, Rashi says hakeren, and Rashi says one word, lin goyach. A horn, Rashi tells you, oh, this horn is to gore. Yeah, so what do you guys come up with? Why did Rashi say anything? Why don't you just say nothing? Skip it.
Yeah, we had a whole time different.
Okay.
My
I want to hear them.
Just showing the difference between the Aves of Shiur and the Todas of Karen. So Todas of Karen are similar. So like for Shane, it would be laughable and not to bite. And for Rendell, it would be like just walking rather than kicking. And then for like Karen.
So what's lingoyach? What does the word lingoyach teach us? Again, Rashi says keren lingoyach. What do we learn out from that extra word? Rashi could have just left the Gemara and. No, I'm asking, what do you not know that Rashi then told us? Why did Rashi have to say anything? Rashi didn't say anything. Karen not lingoyach? What would the Karen be if it's not trying to gore someone? What? You see what I'm saying? It's like an extra Rashi. There's no reason to write it.
Think of it scratches something.
Oh, it rubs up on a wall for itself. It's trying to scratch itself on the wall. Okay.
Scratch a horn
If it's trying to rub its horn, it's like it has an itch.
on the horn.
I don't know if it could have an itch. Yeah, it doesn't feel its horn. It's not passable, so that wouldn't work.
Maybe just
Okay.
scratch into the wall because it likes the wall.
So-
Maybe it's just like
So now that we learned the Gemara, maybe I come up with a theory, which is we use the word lingoyach specifically regarding hurting a person, not regarding hurting a animal. Why? Because lingoyach, the word nagicha, is that he like premeditated it. It's the strongest form of goring. Okay?
so why do you have to
So
do that?
the ultimate av is a animal goring a person. So Karen is lingoyach. Okay, I'm not sure. This is just a theory. I don't know why Rashi said that. Okay?
Maybe other theories.
Yeah, what's the other theory? Anyone else have a theory?
There was one that was
What about the Shane and Reg?
Well, then we're going to get that. That one I have like a real theory. This one I couldn't figure it out.
Goyach is not normal. Wait, no. I think I had theories for Shane and Reg.
Okay, yeah, what's the next one? New? Shane. Hashem le'echel. Rashi says to eat, not to do what? Not to bite. We didn't learn anything about biting yet. Yeah, so we would think it means to bite. So Rashi has to tell us it's not biting. So when does the Gemara tell us that? At what point in the Gemara? Later, so we don't know that yet. Why is that fine?
We're not going to have any questions right now.
You ever saw Rashi in the Mishnah says, don't worry, it'll be explained later, because you would have gotten stuck. So similarly here, Rashi has to tell you what it is now.
I'm saying you wouldn't get stuck if you see there are three things by a shark. Karen, and Reg.
And it'll be like,
And then it
oh,
says
shit.
right after, it starts explaining Karen already.
But you might get stuck because you thought that Shane was biting. You might learn wrong. If you only learned that fact, you would learn the wrong
Even if
thing.
you think Shane is biting, you're not going to get stuck until you're not going to get confused.
Let's say differently. It's not about getting stuck. It's about learning the wrong pshat. You would learn the wrong
If you
pshat.
think that, it goes to Karen, so you're not going to get confused there.
Okay.
And then it starts explaining Shane and Regal, and by that point, it tells you Shane is not biting.
Right, but that's only I hear. But this is I feel like it makes sense to let you know what the proper explanation of Shane and the price is, because that's the Gemara. This is a price.
Yeah, but it's not needed.
Okay, fine. We'll have to argue about that. I think it is needed. Yeah. Next, now we have rego, drisa, lishber esakenim. There's a lot of words here. Yeah. What is rego? Rego is specifically drisa, stepping on something. Lishber esakenim. What do you have, Shmuel? You have anything about this? Brian, you figured something out. Why did Rashi say anything? Not to include kicking, okay. So it's drisa, stepping, not kicking. Yeah, that's number one. How about lishber esakelim? Why did I have to say that?
Even if it didn't break anything?
Even if it didn't break anything, then why are you paying it?
Or if it just
Why would you? So I'm going to just say it. You were breaking kalim.
What if he walks anywhere like on grass, then it's not hot?
You're breaking kalim. You're not breaking what?
You say vegetables.
You're not breaking things that are normally found in Rishus Harabim. You're breaking something that is not normal.
Kalim are normal in Rishus Harabim.
What? Yeah, you leave around stuff just lying in the street.
They're the vendors and stuff. Back when they had like marketplaces.
So it's not considered the actual Rishus Harabim. That's considered the Tzidei Rishus
Harabim
besides.
Hmm? What is normal in Rishus Harabim that the cow break?
Well, then you're putter.
What if putter
If it's normal.
if it's normal to be in Rishus Harabim, you putter.
No, you're putter in Rishus Harabim. Sorry. You're putter in Rishus Harabim.
Okay.
So over here, when are you chayav? You're chayav only in the person's rishus. What would be something that's not normally found in Rishus Harabim and is only found in a person's rishus? So kalim are something that will get broken by stepping on them, and is not something that you would leave in Rishus Harabim. You'd only leave it in your own possession.
I mean, maybe the owner's right there. By the kalim.
Okay, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact. So that's why Rashi's saying something that wouldn't be in Rishus Harabim, something that would be in private rishus. Okay, that was the thought. I have a bunch of these things about trying to think about why Rashi says things, right? So every Rashi has really a question. You could spend your entire life just thinking about what was the question of Rashi that you're trying to solve. Okay, let's go. Next Tosfos. So now we're going to get into the Tosfos. So you have two opinions, yeah? You have one opinion that holds a Shiur is bechezkas shimur, naturally is guarded. You don't need to worry about your ox, and therefore, if it goes ahead and it gores something, then that is abnormal. And therefore, the fact that you have to pay chatzi nezek that by tam is a knas. Okay? Kansa. Chatzi nezek kansa. It's a knas. Why? Because I didn't think my cow was going to gore. You didn't think my cow was going to gore. It's not normal for it to gore. Usually a cow just behaves itself. A bull behaves itself. Cows don't have horns, so it has to be a bull. Okay. Comes along. A cow has horns? No, a bull has horns. Cow does have tiny horns, you're saying. Okay. The other opinion holds no. Lav v'chezkas shimur kaima. You have to worry about your bull goring. That's something you should worry about. And therefore, the fact that you pay chatzi nezek and not full nezek is actually the Torah being kind to you. Torah is nice to you and says you only need to pay half of what you should have had to pay. In other words, chatzi nezek is mamoina. Chatzi nezek is money. Whoa, you guys are both talking. What?
He just lost half his thing.
So Torah says that in this case, even though you should pay the whole thing, we're gonna let you off the hook for half of it.
But
the other guy is losing, right? Which is why Torah had to tell you it. You couldn't make it up. Correct.
Wait,
Something that has to be exeris hakos.
Since all the Torah is nice.
Torah is not being nice to the other guy. It's not about being nice. It's about being the Torah. It's about being the Eibishter deciding how much someone should pay for something.
So it's just not explained. There's just no explanation.
Yeah. I mean, I could probably, I don't know, I could research, but meaning it's Torah decides that that we should give you off the hook a little bit in this case. I guess because it's not so normal, right? Like we were saying, there were different levels of normalcy. Okay? Is it normal to use someone else's cup when he puts down his cup? So by Farbrengen, it's more normal. It's not that normal. Right? Or unless, I don't know, Americans nowadays, they don't want to touch anyone else's cup after COVID. In any event. Okay. Fine. So now let's get into the Tosfos. We're gonna try to read through the Tosfos. So fine, you were reading through the Tosfos. Now that we know this machlekes, we could learn the Tosfos. Okay, nu. Avol b'mechuberes.
Avol b'mechuberes imakum or the sleep. But by which verse?
Mechuberes means when the horn is attached.
When the horn is attached, it's all what's this?
What's muad?
Oh,
Let's say that it's a complete muad, meaning that you're always a muad because it's normal. And therefore, what should happen?
Shalom nezek shalom. You should pay for the full damage.
Yeah.
I feel it was not Rishon, even though it's first time.
Yeah, so the Tosfos is saying that Rashi's explanation, which is that you should pay even the first time, you should have to pay full damage. Why? Because it's muad. That's what the Gemara was really asking. The Gemara is saying, maybe we should say that in a case when it's detached, then you have tam and muad. But in a case when it's attached, then you have to pay full even the first time because that's considered normal. Okay, Frek the Taisus a Shaila in Taimar.
In turn, if you want to say Mahi Tesi
Mihai Teise. And where would you learn this out? Where would you learn out that you pay Nezek Shalim by a case where the corn is attached? Daya Kitlusha.
What does Kitlusha mean?
Tlusha means detached.
If was attached.
If you're learning out that an attached horn you're chayav for, from the case of a detached horn, then you could only make it as chayav as a detached horn. How much do you pay by a detached horn, Baruch Aryeh?
More.
Only tam or muad, right? Only half damage the first time. For sure, a detached horn is not normal. Okay, so then you're paying half damage, right? Okay, so now if you learn out a attached horn from a detached horn, how much do you pay by an attached horn?
Full.
No, also half. Again, if a half, right? But you could only. Okay, so this is a yesod, right? I cannot make you more chayav than the thing that you learn it out from. Yeah. If the reason why you're chayav is because of something else, then you can only be chayav as chayav as the other thing, right? If Yankel has to pay $100 and Beryl has to pay $100 because Yankel has to pay $100, so Beryl cannot end up paying $200 because Yankel only paid $100. So now I can't make you more chayav than the person that you were learning it out from. So similarly here, a tlusha case, tlusha pays half damage. Chatzi nezek. Why? Because it has tam and muad, for sure. So if you're learning out mechuberes from tlusha, then it could only pay what? Half damage. It can't pay full. We just said that what the Gemara tried to say, that you should pay full damage. That's not possible. I can't make you more chayav than the thing you are being learned out from. Again, how do we know that the bull with the horn attached to its head pays full damage? How do you know that's chayav? So the answer is you learn it out from Tlusha. If Tlusha is chayav, and so abnormal for sure a case of mechuberes should also be chayav, right? Well, how chayav should you be? You should be only as chayav as the Tlusha. You should only be chayav chatzi nezek.
But it's more strict.
Again, it might be more strict, but I can't make you pay more money than what you learned it out from. I can't make you more chayav than the source. If the source of something pays only $100, you could only pay.
That's only because he was less strict.
I still can't make you more chayav, right? Okay, so let me say it differently. There's a yesod. The yesod is that you have a source. You can only be as chayav as the source, not more chayav than the source. So whatever the source is, whatever the source pays, you pay. Over here, the source we're trying to say is tlusha. Tlusha pays half damage. Therefore, mechuberes, which is the thing being learnt out, also has to only pay half damage. Yeah, we're not going to finish all the tests from today. Okay, yeah, let's continue. Let's go for it. So now we're going to say we have these two opinions. We have cheskas shimur kaima and laba cheskas shimur kaima, and we're going to look through each opinion, trying to figure out how they would learn out a nezek shalim, how they could learn out that you would pay full damage.
Are we learning from the pasuk and not from Tlusha?
What do we learn out from the pasuk?
You would think that since Tlusha pays Talmud, this thing would also, then we say no, because we have a pasuk of Bechar Shar Hadar.
We learn out from the pasuk. Gilui milsa ba'alma. What is considered Karen? But we're not learning out the halachas. It's just that once you know what Karen is, then you have whatever halachas the Torah said. Yeah, that goes back to Gilui milsa. We're not learning out from the pasuk anything besides for the definition of it.
We say,
Yeah.
so we learn from the pasuk that's not like that. That's actually paid full.
Those two psukim are only telling us what is considered Karen. They're not telling us the halachas of Karen. Okay? Yeah, let's continue. Go for Shmuel. Hatinach. Imish are others. If you're learning out from other Elvis Nizikin.
If you're going to learn from others, hitinuach, place it.
Hatinach, that makes sense. Yeah, it means to place. That makes sense. When something is placed, it makes sense.
That's good. Let's say Karen Adifa de Kavanas Ilhazik, that Karen is better because it has the Kavana to damage. But I feel like even Karen Asi and even Karen is brought.
Is able to be learned out from the other cases. So that means if you have Bur, you're able to learn out Karen. Why? Because Karen is more strict. It's more likely to make you chayav for Karen than it is to make you chayav for Bur. So it's making you chayav for Bur, what? Because Karen, the animal went ahead and tried to hurt someone. Oh, so you should for sure be chayav. Bur, you didn't try to hurt anyone, you just made a pit. It's still there.
Look at the Mefarish Rabbeinu Tam, as Rabbeinu Tam explains, L'Kaiman later on, Dahainu Lamandam, according to the one that Paul gets an argument, Nizika Memaina.
The Palga Nizka, that half damage.
That half damage is Memaina.
Yeah, that's this opinion that says that it's considered money. I'm going to summarize in a second, yeah?
Yeah, the Isla Stam Shvarim Lav Becheskas Shimur Kaini. That they say that Stam by the Shiur, the ox, you don't need to guard it.
No,
Always.
you do need to guard it. We assume that it's unguarded, and therefore you need to guard it.
Obviously, it's unguarded.
Yeah.
Amadam, according to the one that says Palgan Nazik or Kanasa, that half of this payment it's a Kanas. The Isla Stam Shvarim Becheskas Shimur Kaini. They hold that it is in that Chazaka, so you don't have to guard it.
Okay. So I think we're going to end up stopping soon. What time is it? 1:57. So let me just say this short. The goal over here in the Tosfos is to figure out how you could have full damage. How could you pay Nezek Shalim? So if you try to learn from Tlusha, you could only pay half damage, not Nezek Shalim. That doesn't work. According to this opinion, you could end up paying Nezek Shalim because you're going to learn it out from other Hazekas. You're going to learn that from Bur, which pays Nezek Shalim. You're going to learn that from Regel, which pays Nezek Shalim. That since Regel pays Nezek Shalim, sure, also Karen also pays Nezek Shalim. But if you're hold of this opinion over here, that Karen is something that you shouldn't really pay for, it's a more lenient damage, so then I could never make you chayav Nezek Shalim. There's no limud, there's no source that teaches me Nezek Shalim. There's only a source that teaches me half damage. So if so, Tosfos is going to ask, according to this opinion, how could you end up even having a hava amina of the Gemara? How could the Gemara ever say, by mechuberes, you should pay nezek shalim? When an animal is attached, you should pay nezek. That's not true. You shouldn't pay nezek shalim ever, because you are only learning it out over here as a knas. So even half damage you shouldn't pay. It's a knas from Torah to pay half damage. For sure, you cannot pay full damage. Okay? And then Tosfos answers, which is going to have to be discussed probably tomorrow. I guess maybe we'll have a share tomorrow. We'll start off with finishing the Tosfos. But you guys can learn the Tosfos tomorrow, right? So we'll learn the Tosfos tomorrow. We'll finish the daf, and then Friday we'll have a test night. Okay, let's go.
I made a test.